Hello, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Coach Kamisha, where real people have real conversations about real life. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with one of my best friends, Janyetta Webb of J.Webb Cosmetics. Hey, Janyetta.
Hello.
And Janyetta and I have been friends for definitely double digits. And I have watched this woman go from thriving to struggling to thriving. She is currently an entrepreneur, a mother of 3, a wife, and just the things that she has been able to accomplish truly, truly, truly inspires me. And I hope that you too are inspired from this conversation with Janyetta Webb.
Well, thank you, Kamisha.
My pleasure. Thank you for being my friend because you are truly, truly, truly a gem. Truly. I'm going to stop because you'll start crying.
Because I am definitely a tearhugger for real. So.
And we are recording this conversation right now in Janyetta's studio, which is a beautiful studio. She has her own makeup line. You're welcome. She is an esthetician. She has her own spa. She just does so many things, and I don't want to talk about everything that I know that you do. I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit. So just share with, I guess you could just share with everyone what you're currently doing. We can start there.
What I'm currently doing now, I have a studio. It's a makeup studio, and what I do is offer other makeup artists to have a place to do their clients. And once I knew that with the makeup line, they come in, they can use my makeup line. And with that puts me out there as well with the location. At first I was mobile, which gets pretty hectic. So that's where the idea was. I need a location. I need my own. And if I choose to travel, that's just by choice, not by I have to. And then I always knew that I wanted my own makeup line. So I did the research. After graduating University of Baltimore, I actually did my research finding how to start my own cosmetic line.
Which I'm sure was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. Mm-hmm. It really was. And I had to make a decision because I had never worked in retail before. Mm-hmm. So I had to swallow the bullet. And I actually, because this was one of the toughest jobs I ever did because I'm coming from corporate. Mm-hmm. And I worked for J.Webb Cosmetics. Mm-hmm. I was in the trenches every day.
And please add that while you were working for J.Webb Cosmetics that you were pregnant.
Very much pregnant.
That's important.
5 months pregnant. And I was traveling from Maryland to Philadelphia for the training. It was just a lot. It was a lot. But at the moment when you're in it, it doesn't feel like a lot. But once again, things were coming to the head. I learned everything I needed to learn. And then I started getting sick during my the end months of my pregnancy. I guess it started when I was like 7.5 months. And so my doctor was like, you really need to slow down. Well, at that point, I had already learned what I needed to learn. So me and the manager were very close friends. So she knew what my mission was to learn the business, understand how to sell, because MAC ain't always about the red ruby lipstick. It's about the sales. You get goals every day. Mm-hmm. And just with my short time being there, I had sold over $250,000 worth of cosmetics.
Yes, and please add that we're really good friends, so I know your story well. And, you know, as women, sometimes we don't recognize our greatness.
We don't.
We need other people to just kind of be able to pull out all that we've overcome, because like you said, we're just living. We're living day to day. Yes. But not only were you pregnant, 5 to 7 months pregnant, but you also were one of the oldest women in there.
Oh my goodness, yes. So that was another situation, because I'm the only one in the store being called Miss Shauna. I didn't mind it, but when they noticed that my numbers were high and I was having, money was overflowing in my goal, they was like, oh no, something's wrong. I don't know what she's doing. She's taking my clients. I was like, no, I'm not taking my clients. My attitude is different. My attitude is different. I said, do you really think they want a pregnant woman over them, bumping them? No. But I know my stuff. And that was the difference.
And what do you think was different about your attitude, knowing this stuff, and what else do you think?
That I studied. That I had a goal. And my goal was to learn the business and get out and do my own thing. And then once I did that, I was like, I noticed that all the women that were coming getting their makeup done, they purchasing all these lipsticks and foundations, their skin wasn't as healthy, and they want me to put makeup on it. I was like, okay. So I noticed that my numbers were geared to their skincare line. And they don't have a large skincare line, but they do have one. So I learned that's where I was selling a whole lot of them. I was like, I make more selling a skincare in one sale versus a whole bunch of makeup that I really, really have to show them step by step on how to do it.
And I'm sure they asked you because you have beautiful skin.
They did. They did. So we do get gratis. That's the good thing about working for Estee Lauder. You get gratis. You get things. You can take it home. You can use it. So it's not like that you're lying about how the product works. You actually use the product. And I said, okay. That was another light went off. I'm going to get my own skincare line.
Yes.
Now, at this point, I know starting a skincare line is extremely much more expensive startup because the items are very expensive. And I wanted all my items from the United States. I didn't want to go overseas and not know and not be compliant with the FDA.
Okay.
So getting all this information and everything, in 2013, that's when I launched. I delivered my daughter 2013, March 2013. I think it was like in May, Kamisha?
It was
when
a couple months later, yes.
Yeah, and I invited everyone to my home and did makeup classes and stuff like that. And I just had a few things. I had lipsticks, eyeshadows, lip gloss, tested out some foundations. Now, all the items that I bought, I didn't keep all of them. I was just trying out a whole lot of different stuff. So it was a trial and error. And at that time, I didn't have much money because I wasn't working. And during the time, another thing, during the time that I was working for Mac, my husband was laid off.
Right.
Bethlehem still had closed up, shut down.
And he had been there for years. Yes.
And so, but he did get severance pay. But he's very tight. He holds on to $1 so tight. He squeaks. So it was like, and I didn't want him to have anything involved in what I was doing because I always had myself like, I'm a woman first. That's my motto. I'm a woman first. And if I want to be successful at this, I have to do it. I have to be the beginning and the end of it. So, of course, postpartum hit. I'm thinking that everybody is against me. So it's like I can't share what I'm trying to do with everybody.
Right.
You just can't share it.
You can't, because everybody don't want you to win.
I didn't want no discouragement. I didn't, because some people keep it safe. Where my husband, on his side of the family, his mom worked at the same school, his dad retired, his sister still working at the same place. So it's a lot of conservativeness on that side.
And stability.
Right. Where for me, I love stability, but I'm a hustler.
Yes, you are.
I thrive at doing things for me and me seeing it start, no matter how small. I'm good with that. But I want to work hard for what I'm doing. That matters to me. That I can do it with my own two hands, my own mind, and sound mind. And I also utilize my resources from my friends and my family. Although I didn't share everything with one person, I would piece it all out. Where I would share stuff with you, Kamisha, because I needed to sort out all my thoughts. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't have been able to accomplish the goals that I had wanted to accomplish. I knew my goals, but I couldn't sort them out in my head at all. They were just floating. And Kamisha, one of the classes, because I think this was like a second class I did, and I said, here's some names. What do you guys think about some of these names? And Kamisha said, no. That's not going to work. No. J.Webb. I said, you think so?
Because I think you didn't want your name on there. You wanted another name.
And he was like, no, you need to brand you. J.Webb. And it's J.Webb Cosmetics. because just having somebody from the outside look in, that matters to me. Because I am so up for and a supporter for constructive criticism for me. Because that's how I grow. Kamisha came over there specifically one day with a pad and a pencil and asked me, and I had a pad and a pencil too, and asked me, well, what is it you're trying to do? And then she said, no, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? I'm like, I think I'm telling her what I'm doing. And she gave me this list from everything that I said I wanted to do. And I was like, and I'm looking at the list, and then I'm looking at what I'm writing down, and my chicken stretch, and then she got it all laid out on a piece of paper. And I said, okay, that is it. So having somebody look in to be able to guide me, it made all the difference. Because everything on that list, I accomplished everything on that list.
Expeditiously.
Yeah. And then I said, Kamisha, I need another list.
Like, yes, but these are one of the reasons why you are so inspiring and so impressive to me, because I'm being so honest. Like, it is an honor to be your friend, because with all of that, like, your daughter was an infant, you know, and you still had a household to run, and this was just the baby. You also had a teenager and a preteen, and all girls. And anybody who has girls, I have all boys, but I have enough friends who have all girls. I think almost all my friends have all girls.
And all our houses are loud, right? It's just loud.
Lit all the time. Yes. And, you know, girls, we're just talkative. And so they're coming home from school and they want to tell you about your day. And they want to tell you why Sally and Joe broke up. And they want to tell you in the middle of your teenage daughter starting her own entrepreneur venture with the cupcakes and the cakes. And, you know, and you being a huge mentor with that, and you supporting your husband during that time. So, like, a lot was going on. And so for you to accomplish that list, I mean, and you worked hard. It was times that I was getting texts from you at 3 a.m. Like, you did it. You did it when you could. Yeah. You didn't make excuses.
No.
And that is one of the things that I admire. And that is why today, only a few years later, we are sitting here in your salon, in your salon suites. And
but it's not, it wasn't even about me how I did it. It was the support that I received from everybody.
I believe that. Yeah.
It you know, a lot of people say I know. It was the support, and my husband, oh my goodness, he is wonderful.
He is.
He is such a freaking procrastinator at our house. But when I gave him a list and dates for what I needed done in the first suite, which is a natural hair care suite, and we had
because this is your second.
This is the second one. He did it. He made it happen.
Oh yeah,
12-hour shifts that he worked, rotating between days and nights. I still have to ask him, do you work tonight or tomorrow? But he made it happen for me.
Yeah, between laying floors, remember? When I came in here.
It was so much going on. And that was the first one. And I had wanted, because I had already had the skincare line and everything. So I said it would be perfect to have an esthetician here and using my skincare line. Interviewed the girl. Didn't work out because I guess she saw that I was in the midst of the process of fixing everything up. But for me, if I'm at a startup, I'm excited because it was like, yes, now I can put my stamp on this, and I also can brand myself. That would be the first thing I would have thought.
Exactly.
But she didn't work, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna beg nobody to be in here. I'll go to esthetician school. Now this was 2 years ago, 2016. Now I put that idea in the back of my head the whole time, and thinking, because with the cosmetics, and they see that I got the skincare line, it's like, I'm about credentials. How about the skincare line? I mean, like, really? Because I would ask them, what are your credentials with the skincare? Besides that your skin is pretty clear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because for me, that wouldn't be enough for me as a consumer. But even though floors, the walls, the paint, she came in, saw that everything was done, and I said it'd be done next week.
Because you a mover and a shaker.
Right.
You were just a mover and a shaker.
Yeah, and then my husband, he got it all together in less than 60 days.
He did.
Less than 60 days. Now,
And this was like bare bones. Like you guys had to move things out. You had to move things in. Like you totally transformed that space. Like totally. And yeah.
and that was on coins. Literally coins. I didn't have much because I wasn't going to ask him, because I wanted to impress him. A lot of people think they don't have to impress their husband, but I still try to impress my husband because I love him.
Yeah.
I wanted him to see that I can do this, because I know he's probably like, where is she getting all this money from, this and this and that?
And that's why you've been married how long?
19 years.
19 years. And in this day and time, 19 years is like 75. But it's those small things. Like you still, after 19 years, still want, and that's 19 years of marriage, want to impress your husband. And like you said, those things are really important in a relationship.
It is. Because I still want to impress him.
And he is thoroughly impressed.
You think so?
I know so. He is thoroughly impressed. I know he is so proud of you. You see it in his eyes when he looks at you.
Oh.
I know he is thoroughly.
Take a look at that next time. But it mattered that he was with me every step of the way. And I remember going through with my middle child, Michaela, when we first met. I said, I don't think I'm getting the support that I need, Kamisha, from him. He don't understand. I don't even think he believes in me. And you was like, no, that's you. Calm down. Bring it down a couple of notches. But he came through here and he got everything together for me and my brother. It was amazing. It was amazing. And me and my brother's been married for 15 years. So it's like we have families. He has a son. He has a corporate job. He's getting his doctorate. So all of this, everybody had lives. And yet we still pressed our way to get this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it speaks to how, if you really, because one of the things you said, even when you were at Mac, you had goals.
Yes.
And it speaks to the importance of a goal and a plan.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've heard so far, is you had goals, and then we got together and we came up with your plan, and then you just came running. And some people need a little bit more. I have some clients who need accountability. You know, they have a plan, but then they need accountability on the way. But you were one of those people that we got together, we got you a plan, and then you only came back when you needed the next plan.
Yeah.
You know, you were like, okay, I'm bored, I need to do the next thing. And then that's when you were going off to esthetician school. That's when, and the next thing you know, I called you and you called me back and you were like, girl, I'm in school. And I'm like, so when did this happen?
It happened. I started.
That is just how you move. That is how you move, and I love it. I love it.
It stuck to me that she didn't follow through. It hurt my feelings because I was like, I'm giving her a platform. When people give me a platform, I run with it.
And I love that you are woman enough to say it hurt my feelings.
It hurt my feelings. I said, okay, I'm smart. I can go to school. But you know, at this time, I got school loans, okay? So I'm not able to get financial aid no more. I already got my degree. So it's just like, okay, let me see what I'm gonna do. So, real talk, I got Dr. Levy money.
Oh, right. You remember? The gynecologist in Baltimore.
Unexpected money. I am gonna do it. I said, I'm gonna send myself to esthetician school. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's what I did with the whole amount. $12,550 cash, to be exact. You know what I mean? Yes. And I started.
And for people who don't know who Dr. Levy or the Dr. Levy money, it was a lawsuit for a gynecologist in Baltimore. So you can do the research, look it up, but go ahead.
And I said, it's priceless of what I would learn and how this would really execute my business to the next level for the skincare line. So now I can get those credentials.
I know that's right.
You know what I mean? And at this time, I'm thinking my oldest, my firstborn, freshman in school, so with those expenses, sending her to college, just setting up the room, and out of state, for that matter, in North Carolina, Fayetteville State University, that was very expensive. But when you're in it, it doesn't seem that much. But I was like, we sending her, does this really make sense? Me spending all this money in this course and sending her to school?
But you invested in yourself.
I'm a woman first. I'm a woman first, and that is my motto.
It is. You've said that since I've known you. I'm a woman first.
Yes. And with the support again with my husband, my daughters, and he was like, Mommy, you really are? I was like, oh my goodness. Now remember, I already had my own business. So the aesthetics class was during the day. So it was such a sacrifice. So now I can't be in the business. I'm losing out money during the day, but I'm spending money for this course. Am I going to win with this? You know what I mean? And it is not easy in beauty school, aesthetic school at all. It was definitely a challenge. And I did the accelerated program.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Because I didn't have 7 or 9 months time to be away from my business during the day from 8:45 to 4:30. That's a full day. You know how many clients I could do during that day? So I did the 4 months. And it's a lot of information. It's a lot of information. And I did it. And I graduated February 2018. I started in October 17th, 2017. And I completed it. And it was difficult at the school. I thought it would be the young girls. No, it was more of the administration, the directors. That's where my concerns came in at play, because I didn't like how things were being ran when I'm spending coins like that. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's going to be a major change, I need a memo.
I know that's right.
And I think because I was educated, I think they didn't like the fact that I would challenge them or inquire about, well, why did this change? What happened to this instructor? Or this educator? Are you going to get rid of my instructor? Because then we're going to have a problem.
I know that's right.
You know what I mean? I'm concerned. This is education. I expect excellence. Because this is an investment for me.
And a sacrifice.
Yes.
Especially at that time.
Absolutely. And then with the kids trying to, coordinate with Jemiah's in North Carolina, so I don't have her to really look after the 12-year-old and the 4 and 5, she was 4 at the time, to get off the bus, pick up. So it was just a lot of juggling to do. And with the help of my husband, because his schedule rotates, it was a lot easier for that. But my neighbor helped me out. She said, I'll put her on the bus. So once again, it takes a village for one person's dream. I don't know why people think it's I or me. I couldn't have done it by myself. I still can't do it by myself. I have to sit with you to come up with some more goals, because right now I'm at a standstill. Now what do I do? Although I know how to do marketing, but to do it for myself is impossible, because I need to see what am I doing wrong, what I need to do, and why do I need to do it this way. I need someone to tell me that.
Absolutely. I mean, even myself being a coach, I have to have a coach. I have to, because again, I can't see it myself, so I totally understand. I say all the time, like, when I'm listing my gratitude, it's always for my support.
Yeah.
It is always for my support, because I can't do it without my village. And even I think about you saying, even when you started school and when you said the date, it reminded me, it was 7 days after my mother passed, but even you preparing for school, you still baked cakes and dropped them off.
Absolutely.
Was on your way somewhere, but was able to drop them off before you did, because I can't do it without my support. I can't do it without my village.
Right.
None of us can.
Right.
So I really appreciate you saying that. And there's something else that you said that I have to have you share, and you know what it's going to be.
Okay.
You said that you feel proud of yourself when you can do something with a sound mind.
Yes.
And I think one of the parts of your story that is truly remarkable is that you've accomplished all of this after having how many strokes?
3.
After 3 strokes.
I had my first stroke, which was major, in 2006. My firstborn, she was 6, and my second child, she was 15 months old, I believe, at that time. And I was working for Johns Hopkins in care management, insurance, and it was stressful. And at that time, I believe, was I even working part-time or full-time? Because I had cut down, I think I did 30 hours. And I supposed to have a girls' night with one of the girls on my job, and I'm very standoffish on the job, but she and I clicked really well. And so she knew a little bit about my high blood pressure and everything, but it was controlled. No weight problem or anything like that. I was up, going, fine. We go to Walmart to get some snacks, and I said I have to get the baby some shoes because my mom lost Michaela's shoe at the market. So I said I have to get her some shoes so that way when I pick her up, everything be fine. Standing in the line, my pants were wet. And the lady was like, "Are you okay?" And I couldn't respond.
Wow.
And my left arm was hurting so bad. It was hurting so bad. It wasn't like a nerve. It was just a hard pain. And I couldn't think. I thought I was talking, but I wasn't. And just because I had that one relationship with the one person on that job, she knew
what was happening,
what was going on. She got me to that hospital so fast and was able to tell them what I was allergic to, what medication I was taking. She made sure she had called my husband, my mom, all just by using my phone and just small talk and office talk. Office talk.
Well, you're a very transparent person. That's why you had to be on the Real Conversation, Real People podcast, because you are very transparent and very real, very authentic. And, like I said earlier, just being woman enough to say my feelings were hurt, and you are a person who articulates your feelings often, know, and so. But it shows how it pays off, because a lot of times we are hurt in life and we want to close up. We want to, I'm not going to have any more friends, or this person hurt me and I ain't friends with women and I don't do women, or, whatever it is, we tend to say because we're actually hurt. But it takes a real woman to be able to be that open and be that transparent. And so it really paid off that you were that with that person.
Absolutely.
Because she, I'm sure, helped save your life.
She did. She did. And at that moment, first off, I wasn't able to talk, walk, anything. And I was in the nursing home for, I think, like 2.5 months, something like that. And and during that time, I was in school, University of Baltimore, and I refused to drop the classes. I did not want to withdraw from the classes. So during the rehabilitation, occupational health, and everything, they were like, well, maybe it's the best thing. You don't need that pressure. I refused. I refused. So I didn't. I had my brother contact them, let them know that I'm ill, but all the assignments will be in. And that was just that. So in my head and in my heart, this is going to help me be able to write, talk, type everything again. Because that's all I'm thinking about me. How am I going to do this? I need to get my degree before my girls get up and call me out. Because that's what they do. And I felt like that's not what, that was very, very stubborn and didn't want that to happen. So by the time I rehab, start talking and everything like that, come home, physical therapy, occupational therapy is in my house. And at this point, I have a 15-month-old and a 6-year-old. And they were running away from me. I told them, people, I don't need you to come here no more. I got enough therapy. I got these 2 kids in here. You doing too much. It's too much going on in this house. I need you to leave. I don't need you to come back no more. This is enough therapy right here with them. And because I would tell them, come here. They were running from me. So, that made me get up and move a whole lot. And with my husband's family, oh my goodness, they were amazing with taking the girls to school. And they live completely opposite part of town.
All the way across town, yes.
And my God, my husband coming to the nursing home, seeing his wife like that. It was sometimes he would come there and not say nothing. I can't imagine how it would feel to feel like you almost lost your spouse. Because I don't even want to think about it.
That is so true.
And then when he saw, and this is funny, then when he saw that, oh, she thinks she's good now. She's doing too much. Basically, he felt like just do what you need to do at home to keep us in her. Just cook and do what you have to do. Don't do nothing for nobody else. You don't have to work. You don't need to do all that. I didn't let the people on my job know I had a stroke until I returned to work. I didn't want them to know because you never know who's against you. I don't know who like me or don't like me.
Right.
I don't know. I don't want nobody wishing bad on me.
I know that's right.
It happens.
It does.
Because you can think someone like you and be like, please pray my strength in the Lord. Really?
Right. And they running a gossip about it, telling somebody else.
That's what she get. That's what she get. I don't need that, so take that out the equation. And I went back to work. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. Still stressful. At this point, my husband like, it's just too much. But I worked from home. That wasn't a good idea. You work harder.
Yes, you do.
When you work from home.
Yes, you do.
You work harder because you have something to prove or think that I'm not sleeping. But I found myself being up throughout the day. But you do have a little freedom, to clean up. You in your PJs all day. But I found myself up midnight, 1, 2 o'clock, doing things. So that makes sure that stuff is done. I said, no, I need to go back in the office so I can get some adult time and walk up and down the cubicles.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And have some talk. Because it was too much. And at that point, 2006, 2007, I had another one. It wasn't that bad. And it always happened like an emergency. It wasn't like, okay, I went to my PCP and he said, well, let's send you over. It was like I was at home and couldn't talk, couldn't do anything. And at that point, they were like, wow, we don't know if this is a hemiplegic migraine, it's mocking a stroke. What is this? Because they would do the CAT scans and they said, well, we only see from the last one. We only see something that was from the last one. We don't see anything. But I will go completely paralyzed on one side of my body.
Wow.
This time it lasts for a while because I was in a hospital, I think, for like a week or so. And then it slowly, gradually came back. But it was triggered by a migraine. Because I did struggle with a migraine. And I was prescribed Imitrex. One of the side effects of Imitrex. If it's you can have a stroke from Imitrex.
Oh, wow.
You see? Ain't nobody safe.
Industry.
Ain't nobody safe.
Oh.
So you already got me this one, and then you got me this. You really? With that happened. So that's when I was diagnosed with hemiplegic migraines. So that was the first one, and then that was the second one, and they put that under the hemiplegic migraine, which could have triggered the stroke. But I had a mild residual, so they were like, I don't know what this is.
Right. Yeah, that which I'm sure is scary.
It is,
all of it,
because they still sending physical therapy the second time to the house. I told this lady, I don't need her coming in here. It's too much. It's too much. Talking about, let me see where you're sleeping. So I don't need you to make no adjustments to me. Just let me sign a paper. You don't need to come in no more. You don't need to come in no more. I'm good. So with that, and then I had another one, 2009. It was just a lot. And all this time I'm still working for Hopkins.
Going back, stroking out, and going back to work.
Going back to work. Stroking out, going back to work.
Being a mother, being a wife.
Yeah.
Being an employee, being a sister, being a friend.
Yes. A lot. And then it got to the point where I wasn't able to work. My husband was like, just let it go. It's just too much. He never said it, but the look on his face is like, just get well. Completely well. Right. And this is in my 30s. These are my early 30s. That's supposed to be my prime. And and I'm thinking, I got age on my side. That's what helped me rehab a lot easier. But his thing was just get well enough so the family, we could be good. Because he wanted to eat.
Look, I'm glad he's smart enough to know. Because if the woman ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If we ain't together, nobody together.
Yeah, because it was a lot. So when you're dealing with illnesses, and of course being sick like that, I'm dealing with depression. And they trying to change up my medication. And I'm like, no, this works. Let's not change this. This works for my nerves. I'm good with this. You just need to get this high blood pressure together so I won't be anxious. So I started this vicious cycle of when I started getting well, start stressing about I don't want to get sick. I'm stressing about not wanting to be sick, and I'm making myself sick.
Isn't the mind powerful? The mind is powerful.
Yes,
whatever it is that we believe. And sometimes it's that fear and that belief that creates the thing that we don't want. Yeah. So powerful.
And with that put me in a major depression. And it got to a point where when is something's going to happen? It's like I'm waiting for a breakthrough. It didn't connect. Well, Kamisha, because I was calling you, crying, looking crazy. We would meet up, and then it would be times we wouldn't talk for a minute. But when we would talk, we would talk. You know what I mean? It was just a vicious cycle until it got to a point where whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
When you surrendered and you let go.
I had to let go. You know that song, It Is Well With My Soul? I don't like that song. I never liked that song.
You used to argue with God about that song, didn't you?
Yes. It's not well with me. It is not. Help me get to a point. And at that point, I didn't want him to help me understand why situation. I don't want to go through it. Fix me up so I can get up and do what I need to do to take care of me and my family. Because at one point, early on in the marriage, with our firstborn, it was all about being a great wife, all about being the best mother, and this and this and that. Postpartum. You know what I mean? Dealing with that, and then it got to a point where I had to realize, who cares? Everything had to be in its perfect place. Now, after being sick and just seeing myself come from out of depression and coming out from being happy, just one extreme to the next, it's like, where is the middle? Right. And that's where the word balance come in.
Yes. Yes. And I know, we've had conversations. I've been through my depression, and I think we were depressed together and trying to pull each other out.
It would be like, what?
And so I totally understand everything that you're talking about. And yes, you at that point, you don't want to accept it.
No.
And surrender and acceptance is the key to moving forward. But I don't want to accept this.
No.
I don't want to accept the flaw or what perceived flaw or whatever it is. I just want to be better.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
So
right.
yeah, I totally understand.
And then getting to that point, I'm trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
Mm-hmm.
When I grow up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still figuring it out now.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I hear. When I hear you talk about your business, it's a journey, because life truly is a journey. You started out knowing you wanted a makeup line, and you started out with the makeup line, and like you said, a couple foundations. And because I remember when you first were trying some out, we were mixing colors together and doing, mixing the foundations and all of those things. And you went from there to just a couple products to now a full makeup line.
Yes.
And then once that was doing well, then you said, okay, now I'm going to go to the skincare line. You didn't try to do everything at one time.
No.
It was baby steps.
No.
And then you turn around 5 years later and you're like, wow.
And that was just 5 years later. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
It is. You've accomplished so much. And then now to be in this actual tangible space, like you said, you started with classes in your living room.
In my living room.
And that is how you started. Yes.
4 people.
Yes, teaching us highlighting and contouring. Exactly. With the paper and the makeup and all of those. And each time you were teaching something different, right. And that's how it started. But you kept moving.
Yeah.
How you like to say, stroked out.
Yes.
Being stroked out. You just kept moving. And sometimes we don't realize the importance of just keep moving. Just forward. Baby steps, toddler steps, whatever. Whatever we're taking, and then one day we look back. And we realize how much we've accomplished.
I don't realize how much I accomplished until somebody else mentioned it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the same way for me, too.
Because it's like I'm just doing what I think I need to do.
Mm-hmm. And then when someone mentions it, and I think it also works both ways, because I've had people, when I was being hard on myself, point out all that I was doing. Yeah. Like, you just lost a mom, you are reconciling a marriage, you are these, you're raising teenagers, you're this, and this, and you upset because you didn't do what? Right. And then sometimes it's like, I do have all that going on, don't I? Like,
somebody had to check you.
I do have, and that's why I love my friends. What you said about support is so important. I couldn't be the woman I am without my friends.
No, that's why I understand why some women are like, I don't get along with these females and stuff like that. Let me explain something to you. It's some things that my husband do not want to hear. Mm-hmm. It's annoying. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, no, you're right.
He's never going to understand.
And then we talk about why you don't remember, why you ain't hear this, why you ain't.
It doesn't affect him.
He's not interested, right?
No,
mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
It is. Mm-hmm.
But I need my circle. Mm-hmm. You have to be careful who you allow in your circle.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
And your circle has to understand, if I see you get out of order, I'm going to check you. Mm-hmm. And you have to expect the same. Mm-hmm. Because if I have to have an outsider tell me something and you could have told me, I'm mad with you. Mm-hmm. Well, why you didn't tell me? You got me out there thinking it. Mm-hmm. No, then there's a disconnect with that friendship.
Right. And what you said is having the right people. It took me years to realize just the value, Mm-hmm. And like you said, we've gone through periods where we haven't talked for a while. I don't think I have a friend that I haven't. Mm-hmm. That you go, but that doesn't mean that the friendship isn't there.
It does not.
It doesn't mean that the love is lost, because sometimes life is just happening.
Seasons.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's seasons.
Absolutely.
Some have peaks, some have lows, highs, and the thing of it about this is when you become grown folk.
Right. Right.
Don't question it. I'm like, well, what happened? And it's not how you doing? Oh my goodness, I miss you so much. Well, let's catch up.
Right.
That's grown folk.
Mm-hmm. It is. That's being a grown ass woman.
Yes.
It is.
Because at that point, it doesn't matter. We're here. Mm-hmm. And I have so much to tell you. And I'm excited that I can tell you right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that matters. It matters that another woman can understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
And you remember when I met you, I told you I prayed to God that I needed a friend that was like me, that was married. This is new. You know, that you want to buy a house, you want to do all these things and really can't, but don't know where to start. And that's when I met you from the charter school our kids went to.
Girl.
We were in charge of the PTA.
Girl. That PTA. But it brought us close.
It did.
And you're right. And I feel this, like, I couldn't do it without my support team.
For that.
Yeah, I've prayed as well. And it's because it's important. Like you said, it's certain things that our husbands, they just not interested in, and they don't want to hear, and it sound like wah, 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 wah. You know, where we could talk for hours. Like I said, when I told him I was coming to the shop, he said, girl, I'll see you. What time you meeting her? 1? All right, I'll see you 9, 10 o'clock tonight. Like, because he knows we haven't seen each other for a while, and we probably going to talk, you know, and who knows, we might leave here and go get something to eat and a drink.
You never know.
You don't know.
Because we don't go on a schedule.
Yeah, and we need the freedom to do that. And that is another reason why we're blessed, because we have men who are okay with that.
Yes.
And support that we can have the freedom to be ourselves.
True. Unconditional love.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm a mess.
We both are.
And he loved all of it.
Yeah. And so it's just, I appreciate you. I appreciate this conversation. And I know everyone who is listening is going to be as encouraged and as inspired as I am. And I think that's another thing that's important in friendships. You have to have friends that you respect and friends that you admire. And I mean in any relationship. A marriage isn't going to work. A friendship isn't going to work. You can't even get along with your coworkers if you don't respect them.
No.
And I think that respect is important, and that is something that I have a great deal of for you. A great deal of respect for you, for your character, for the woman, the mother that you are, you know, and just your level of forgiveness, just everything, you know, your heart. So I appreciate you.
I needed to hear that. Some people won't say that, but I like hearing you say that, because now I can see. You know what I mean? My mom tell me that, but that's my mother.
Right.
You know
They always think we're great, right?
But, or my brother, you know, but to hear somebody else that I admire, all that you've been through in less than a year. And just sitting here, this was therapy for me. Because you know, I don't do therapy.
I know. You gotta know your friends. You gotta know your friends.
Because they be bringing up old stuff. I can't. But I think because I'm transparent, it doesn't bother. I don't hold things inside.
And it shows.
It always wasn't like that, though. It always. But sarcasm helps a lot.
It does. Yes. And that's one thing I love about our friendship. We can laugh at each other. I could call you girl and be like, let me tell you this dumb ass shit.
I know, right? Because it be too much. Sometimes it be too much, and I can't. Sometimes I can't.
Yeah, so we have to be able to laugh at each other. But it does. Sarcasm helps. And like you said, just being able to get it out.
Yep.
Just being able to get it out. You feel lighter.
Yeah.
You feel lighter. And like you said, it's important to know who you can get it out with. Because like you said, everybody ain't for you.
Yeah, you can't share your dreams with everybody. Because they're not going to have the same vision that you may have. You have to be careful. That's why you have to be strategic in your relationships. And understanding what type of relationship is that.
That's it.
Are you more of a giver than a receiver in that relationship? And that's okay. But you have to acknowledge that. Don't expect more. And you know that's their best. They're giving you the best that they got.
That's true.
And everybody's not like you.
Yes. It's so true.
Because I'm the type of person that if you're my family and you're my friend, I know when you need something. I'm not going to allow you to ask me. I'm not, because if I ask you, you're going to say no.
Girl, yes. Girl, remember we was preparing for my husband's birthday party?
Oh, my
And you hung up on me because we was waiting. I was planning him that a party, and I was waiting for a check that didn't come, and you was like, "How much you need?" Click. Yeah. And then you was like, "Text me how much you need," and then you hung up, and then I think you called me back. Yeah, it was like, "Stop playing. Why ain't get the text?" And all I could do was laugh.
Because right now it's like, this is an emergency. You waiting on this, you waiting on that. I got it. Roll with it. You better take it while I got it.
And I'm still sitting on the phone like, did she just hang up on me? She's not playing with me right now. Okay.
Yeah. Because you know how DJ is. That party had to be right.
Girl, don't it? Gucci.
He was Devo. You know what I mean? All the way with that party.
Yes. Girl, yes. You know your brother. But I thank you for this, because we could talk on, and I'm sure we will even after we press stop.
Of course.
But I appreciate you, and I love you so much.
I love you so much, Tanisha.
I really do. Thank you.
The president of the PTA.
Girl. Bye, everybody.